Okay, good morning everyone. Today is August 11, 2023. Our pre-bid conference for today is three projects. Three projects. Okay, so before we'll start, let's have a prayer by Engineer Kenny Mansueto.
Okay, let put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Kenny. So before we'll start, we'll have to call the attendance. So for the bidding and awards committee, we have back chairman Jose R. Gauran Jr. Then yours truly as the vice back chairman. Then we have back member Maria Dolores B. Salazar and Elvira Fernandez. For the back secretariat, we have Arnel A. Branzuela, Fritz Andrew G. Asignar, Winmar R. Belinia, and Sarabel Sulib. For the TWG member, we have Francis Cañete, Evelyn C. Mansueto, Kenny Luis D. Mansueto, and Marcelino S. Cortez IV. So we have no we have no attendance from the prospective bidders. Probably they are using our online through YouTube. So, so okay, we'll now proceed with the pre-bid for three projects, the 23HH0131, 23HH0132, and 23HH0133. Okay?
Good morning, everyone. For contract ID 23HH0131, contract name, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Flood Mitigation Structures, Protecting Public Infrastructures, Facilities, Construction of Flood Mitigation Structure, Barangay Luz, Cebu City. ABC for project description, flood control drainage, ABC amount 4,950,000 million. Contract duration 187 calendar days. For the design, detailed engineering design, for the summary of quantities, item number A.1.1, provision of combined field office 4.13 months. B3, permits and clearances 1 lump sum. B5, project billboard, signboard 1 each. B.7, to occupational safety and health program 1 lump sum. B.81 Traffic Management 4.13 months. B9 Mobilization Demobilization 1 lump sum. 8016 Removal of structures and obstruction includes disposal 79 cubic meters. 901 C1 Structural Concrete 20.68 MPa Class A 28 days 261 cubic meters. 902 1A Reinforcing Steel Grade 40 6,351 kilograms. 503 Metal Frames and Grating 1.1 by 1.1 meters 11 set. 17026A Pipe Culverts and Drain Excavation Common Soil 117 cubic meters and 1721A3 Manhole 910 mm diameter 11 each. 1724A3 concrete cover, dimension is 0.4 by 0.9 by 0.15, 910 mm, 194 each. For the target scope of work, this project aims to provide an efficient drainage system consisting of one drainage line with a total length of 287 meters that covers the construction of new drainage system with concrete covers and manholes. For the location, nitap lang ta sa previous project sa Barangay Luz. Yeah, going down uh, for the typical section, point 0.8 design invert and point 0.7 for the clear width. The thickness of the drainage is point 0.1. Dimension of concrete cover is point 0.4 by point 0.9 and the thickness is point 0.15. For the manhole, the total depth will be 1.2 and the total width is 1.2 and with corresponding stationing. And for this will be the bar schedule details. So that will be all for Barangay Luz. Next is for the roads will be discussed by Engineer JC. Thank you. So, good morning. The next project is 23HH0132 with contract name Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, access roads and or bridges from the national road leading to major strategic public building facilities. Road concreting Barangay Lusaran, Cebu City. So for the ABC is 4,950,000 with contract duration of 105. So for the DD plan, the project with station limits 30 plus 200 to 30, 505 with net length 305. So here is the location of the project site. And as you can see here, this is the actual photo of the site. It is the project is a branch out of the previous project 2022. So the location, you can search it on Google Map. Here is the coordinates, the start and the end. So for the summary of quantities, there is provision of combined field office, laboratory, and living quarters, building for the engineer, permits and clearances, project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization, demobilization, and surplus common excavation with 1,220 cubic meters, subgrade preparation, aggregate surface course 313 cubic meters, PCCP pavement unreinforced 0.20 meters thick, 1,525 square meters, reinforcing steel, structural concrete is for the line canal, pipe culverts 610, stone masonry, and concrete curb precast. So for the target scope of work, the plan calls for construction of road 5 meters wide with 200 millimeter thick new Portland cement concrete pavement with aggregate subgrade course 150 millimeter thick and subgrade preparation. Construction of concrete curb, stone masonry, and other minor drainage structures. The total project length of the is 305 meters. So for the typical cross section is this is the typical cross section of the project. Section with normal ground and the section with super elevation. So I think that's it for Barangay Lusaran project 23HH132. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I will be discussing the contract ID 23HH0133, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, access roads and/or bridges from the national roads leading to major strategic public buildings, facilities, road concreting with drainage, Barangay Zapatera, Cebu City, with an EBC of 4,950,105 calendar days. So for the DED of this project, we have the station limits, Station 2 +00 up to 2 +147 with a net length of 147 meters. So for the location of the project, we have here somewhere near the Dole and near Mango, Genmax, and Gorodoag. So we provided here the coordinates for the project location. So here. And for the summary of quantities, we have here provision of combined field office, laboratory, and living quarters building for the engineer, permits and clearances, project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization, demobilization, surplus common excavation, pipe culvert and drain excavation, subgrade preparation, aggregate sub-base scores, PCCP of 0.25 SIG 14 days curing, reinforcing steel grade 40, structural concrete 20.68 MPa Class A 28 days, manhole, inlets, concrete cover, metal frames and grating, and curb and gutter precast. So for the typical cross-section of this project, we have here the PCCP of 0.25 thickness, and then we have here the reinforced line canal for both sides. So that's all for this project.
Good morning once again for the additional information no, for the bidders. For the documents to be submitted, these following requirements will be discussed in the preparation of the documents. First, for the technical proposal, the basic eligibility requirement during the submission of bids in the field JEPs certificate of registration and membership must be current and updated in accordance with the provisions of the IRR. And its registration is proper and relevant to the particular type of procurement. In lieu of the Class A eligibility documents uploaded and maintained current and updated in the field JEPs. Ang bidders are required to submit their field JEPs certificate of registration during bid submission. Next, if ang bidder is not enrolled in CWA, the bidder must attach validated pickup license and registration, statement of all ongoing and completed government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, whether or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid within the period provided in the bidding documents given emphasis as per Department Order number 36 series of 2615. For this, strong emphasis is given to this matter since this will be strictly revalidated and checked upon during the detailed bid evaluation. Non-compliance of this is subjected for sanction per DO number 17 series of 2015 under the three-strike policy report. Next, statement of single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid at least 50% of the ABC. Net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, computation and statement of total assets and liabilities. Next is the mayor's permit or business permit must be present. Tax clearance, audited financial statement, duly received by BIR at least 2 years from bidding date, income tax return or ITR. Next is for DTI for sole proprietorship, and CDA for cooperatives. For a corporation, there should be a secretary's certificate or board resolution duly notarized indicating the authorized and designated signing official. Next, JVA, if applicable, which requires special PCAB license and registration with percentage of two contractors. For the bid security, the contractor can choose among the applicable forms of bid security, which the duration is 120 calendar days per RA 9184. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in an amount not less than the required percentage of the ABC in accordance with the following schedule. Cash or cashier's check issued by the Universal of Commercial Bank, which is 2%. Now, bank draft guarantee or a revocable letter of credit issued by a Universal or Commercial Bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed and authenticated by a Universal or Commercial Bank if issued by a foreign bank, which is 2%, surety bond upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, which is 5%. Any discrepancy in the amount even a centavo means non-compliant. If the validated exceeds 120 calendar days, the contractor should renew and submit a new bid securing declaration or BSD, considering that all legal, technical, and financial documents should still be valid during award. Number 4, bid security in prescribed form for the amount and validity period. For project requirements, the bidders should attach the organizational chart for the contract to be bid, including the list of contractors' key personnel to be assigned to the contract with their complete qualification data and affidavit of commitment to work on the project of the contractor's key technical personnel, which there must be no duplication of key functions wherein assignments of several projects of key personnel is strongly discouraged because it was found out that some contractors have one project engineer with multiple ongoing contract projects. The 5 key technical personnel must have experience similar to the contract project to be bid at least 50% of ABC, or as follows: project manager is not necessary a licensed civil engineer. However, the experience should have minimum of 5 years experience of same position and 3 years experience of similar position. Project engineer must be duly licensed civil engineer, should be current and updated with a minimum of 5 years experience of same position, 3 years experience of similar position. For the materials engineer, must be a licensed civil engineer with minimum of 5 years experience of same position, 3 years experience of similar position, duly DPWH accredited materials and quality control engineer. Foreman with minimum of 5 years experience of same position and 2 years experience of similar position. For the safety and health officer with a certificate duly accredited by DOLE as safety officer. The bidder should have a safety officer 3 or SO3 regardless of amount and category, wherein the requirements and appointment, designation, and job description as safety officer. If the company doesn't have a safety officer, they should attach a pledge of commitment to undertake trainings for 48 hours. Additional info, they were advised not to manufacture the experience of their key technical personnel just to suit with the requirements. All the licenses and credentials of the key technical personnel must be current and updated. These attachments should be visible and have a clear copy. The BAC advised that the pledged project engineer for the project should not be conflicted conflicting with other projects, considering that the supervision will be difficult, and this is one of the reasons that will cause negative slippage. A project engineer can handle within the same jurisdiction but outside is quite questionable for his capacity to supervise. List of contractors, major construction, and lab equipment units owned, leased, or under purchase agreements must be supported by proof of ownership or lease or purchase and certification of availability of equipment from lessor vendor for project duration. Certification of minimum laboratory equipment duly certified by any DPWH office as per DO number 80 series of 1990 and reiterated for strict compliance as per DO number 138 series of 2015, DO 11 series of 2017 to ensure that the said certification is current and updated, which has only 1 year validity and still subject for post-qualification. Construction Safety and Health Program per DO 129 series of 2014. The preparation of the Safety and Health Program is component of the technical proposal as per department order, of which the limitation is one safety officer within limited jurisdiction on the limits not exceeding 50 million. However, per project must have one first aider, and it is not necessary approved considering that this will be resubmitted if they will be awarded with the project. The compliance of construction safety and health is now a law as per Republic Act 11058 dated August 2018. The safety officer, 3, should be on site since this is one of the requirements during inspection of the personnel from DOLE. There will be a penalty if the safety officer is not around during the inspection of DOLE. The company should also conduct monthly, quarterly, yearly report as one of the OSH requirement in construction industry. The bidders were advised to prepare their own construction safety and health program. For the omnibus sworn statement in the form, the omnibus sworn statement has 9 items. They should comply with a standard form wherein, in the absence of one item, it will be rated as failed. For the affidavit of site inspection, inspection of the project site is encouraged in order to validate the site prior to dropping of bids to avoid future problem. Because the contractor has the responsibility to complete the project once awarded to them. For the financial proposal, this must be included also the bid form, the bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. So mo na ang dapat sa inyong detailed no naagid na diha ang materials, ang labor ug ang material. Ang lump sum nato no mo na atong gikuan pod before di mo gid malikayan ang lump sum no kay per item naa man ang lump sum. Usually nani sa mga building nga projects makaduol lang gid mo sa planning, pwede mo mangayo og breakdown sa lump sum no for kuan pod na siya for smooth implementation sa project. No? So makaduol gid mo unsay suot sa lump sum kay di man pare sa ubang item nga per square naa na dayon no kay per square man lump sum compromise pa nagdaghan kay materials. So quarterly, monthly cash flow and payment schedule must be present also in the financial proposal. Failure to attach any requirement or any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient documents in the above mentioned is a ground for outright rejection for the bid and will fall as non-compliant. All documents to be submitted must be current and updated, otherwise it will be rated as failed. The technical and financial proposal must be in A4 size. Mo na tong standard sa atong bid documents. paginated with duly authorized signatures and book-bounded to avoid insertion. Further, the authorized liaison officer will be the one to drop the bids. The bidders will also advise to be responsible to their bid submitted in accordance with the checklist, and their technical and financial proposals should have proper pagination based on the number or order if the checklist including proper sequencing of documents. Their submitted documents should be done accordingly. If the legal A documents are attached, much better. However, if the documents are expired, attach receipt of proof that the renewal is on process. The bid documents of the bidders must follow the completeness of the bid, both in form and substance. The bidders were advised not to recycle legal documents attached in the previous submission of bids which have signatures and countersigns of the back members. It must be all original signatures attesting certified copies. Affidavits must be original signature. For the joint venture, whatever guidelines complied by one bidder should also be complied by the other bidder. For example, if one has a PhilJEPS registration, then the other one should also attach their PhilJEPS registration, leaving blanks on the bid proposal for the unit bid price of total cost per item is considered failed except indicated as zero or which is understood as free to the government. Bidders with lowest bid during the opening of bid is not a guarantee to be awarded. Why? Kay subject for evaluation pa man ang inyong gidrap. All bid documents are still subject for bid evaluation and post-qualification prior to be declared as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. The bidders are given 3 days upon bidding for file for a motion for reconsideration. The BAC emphasized the deadline of the receipt by the BAC of bids, which is 10 a.m. only as stipulated in the invitation of bid. Kung mulapas na sa 10 a.m., so dili na makadrop ang bidders. No, ato ginang stricto og maayo, i-close na nato ang atong hulganan dere beyond 10 a.m. in the morning. For the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. The BAC will determine the eligibility of the bidders based on the PhilJEPS registration on their legal aid documents, which should be maintained current and updated, including that of the Civil Works application or the CWA, which focuses on the NFCC, work experience of single largest completed contract, similar to the contract project for bidding at hand. The BAC will ascertain based on the checklist of the required documents to be submitted using pass or fail criterion during the preliminary and detailed bid evaluation. In addition, after the opening of bids as per 2016 revised implementing rules and regulation under section 32.2, the BAC will conduct a detailed bid evaluation of all the bids using non-discretionary criteria wherein it requires the completeness of bid. Bids not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as not responsive, but specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free of the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. In case of discrepancies between bid prices and figures and in words, the latter shall prevail, no? Ang words ang prevail. Total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the same will be applied to the detailed checking evaluation of the technical. The same will be applied no, sa katong checking evaluation of the proposal. Then the bidder, rated as the lowest calculated bidder, will undergo post-qualification. Once post-qualified, the bidder will be determined as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. All bidders are of equal footing thereby. Bidders are advised to include all taxes, other fiscal and duties as mandated by law in all items of work which details are shown in the detailed estimates. For the post-qualification, the bidders were advised to read Department Order number 127, Series 2018, and other issuances relative to this matter, since the BAC will be very keen and strict on the conduct of post-qualification process, considering that the concerned officials or employees, including the concerned BAC members, will be liable to the administrative penalties if this directive will not be followed. As per DO number 127, the contractor will not be awarded with a certain project if it has a negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract or at least 10% in two or more contracts. During post-qualification, even though the contractor is the lowest bidder, still it is subject for further verification to ensure the compliance of the requirements of the contract. With that, the office will be sending a letter being the lowest calculated bid, which within 5 days from the receipt of notice, the bidder must submit the latest income and business tax return and other appropriate licenses, permits, and other legal documents required and stated in the bidding document and as stipulated in the said communication. If not complied within 5 days, the next calculated lowest bidder will be notified. So, naman ano, you're only given 5 days, no? On the other hand, the office will be sending a letter of inquiry on the committed failure on the bidding at hand. Thus, this communication must be acted upon the contractor on the required time frame. Otherwise, without action taken, it will be relatively resort to sanction, which will fall on the three-strike policy, which a tantamount of blacklisting, suspension of the contractor. If the bidder will commit 3 mistakes in a year, then they will be recommended for further sanctions. Moreover, the qualification and experience of the key technical personnel is subject for verification as part of the post-qualification process. They are allowed to replace their key personnel technical, which they have to write a letter 14 days prior to the proposed replacement duly approved by the HOPE of the office. The BAC will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of post-qualification. No, it is stated as per DO number 127 series 2018. The contractor can attach in the proposal the list of equipment or agreement to purchase or proposal to rent or agreement on the delivery of the equipment so that the contractor will be assessed as compliant in terms of equipment requirement. The OR and CR must be present, no? Also, it must be current and updated, not expired. The equipment should be calibrated and done, accredited, and the registration should be current and updated. Whatever is stipulated in the BDS should be followed. An inspection will be conducted on the verification of equipment during other documents to be evaluated. Also, to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should in the submitted bid location of the equipment where they can be inspected. Ang atong DWG members kay mo inspect kina sa inyong equipment pledge, no? If any piece of equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post disqualified as per Department Order number 9, series of 2012. 10 calendar days upon receipt of the NOA or Notice of Award, the contractor must comply the following. Notice of Award with the bidders signed for a joint venture, contractor's PCAB license, special joint venture license, and joint venture agreement. Performance security in any of the forms specified in the instruction of bidders. The performance security shall be in the amount not less than the required percentage of the total contract price in accordance with the following schedule. Cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a universal or commercial bank, which is 10%. Bank draft or guarantee or a revocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a universal or commercial bank if issued by a foreign bank, which is 10%. Surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, which is 30%. No? So, ang sa inyong construction methods, kay nabotay form, no, follow lang ta sa form. Ang construction schedule in the form of per CPM diagram or precedence diagram and bar chart with S-curve, cash flow, contractors all risk insurance or carry to be submitted during the period required on the submission of the required documents in the award of contract. However, the effective date is on the effectivity of the contract. Latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by BIR and duly validated with the tax payments made. Tax clearance from the BIR to prove full and timely payment of taxes. For a local contractor, certification under oath stating that a contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. For a foreign bidder, for the summary,
So, okay, you have heard. For those onliners, no, kay wala tayo face-to-face dili mga prospective bidders. So, we have informed you of what are the reminders during the submission of the bidding documents. So, it's already 11 a.m. So, this pre-bid conference is